Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
Good evening, America. It's Monday, April 10th, 2020, and this is the evening edition of National News. I'm Adam Zaytouni.
And I'm Ryan Day.
We hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. With the Heritage Golf Tournament coming up next weekend, there has been a lot of question on how they maintain it.
This week's segment is dedicated to techniques that are used to keep golf courses maintained for such a high level of play. Let's take a look behind the scenes of what goes into maintaining one of the most iconic golf courses in the country.
To explain the science of it all, we have nanotechnologist Dr. G.
Golf courses are beginning to implement the benefits of carbon nanotubes to keep the ponds aesthetically pleasing. The research on carbon nanotubes is still very new, so there are many unknowns about them, especially when it comes to the possible uses along with the side effects.
Could you explain carbon nanotubes so our viewers at home can understand?
Carbon nanotubes are very small, 50,000 times thinner than a human hair, but can vary in lengths. With the lattice structure of the carbon nanotube, it allows them to be stronger than diamonds. They also have an electrical conductivity 1,000 times that of copper.
Wow, stronger than diamonds? How is that possible?
This increase in strength comes from the strong covalent carbon-carbon bond forces holding this lattice structure together. As you can see here, the lattice structure almost looks like a hexagon chain-linked fence rolled into a tube shape.
All carbon nanotubes the same?
Good question. There are two types of carbon nanotubes, the single-walled and the multi-walled. The only difference is the layering, making the multi-walled stronger. My focus is on the single-walled carbon nanotubes.
Wow, that's really interesting. Now joining us from Sea Pines in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, we have Chip Green to talk about how single-wall carbon nanotubes are used on their golf course.
Hello, thank you, Ryan. Here at Sea Pines, we take pride in the natural beauty of our course. Since we have many ponds all over the place, this opens up a problem with algae growth. I consider any presence of algae an eyesore. With this being said, single-wall carbon nanotubes are a solution to our algae problems. So how are they a solution? Well, this is a new treatment we put in our ponds that slows the algae growth to a manageable rate. I would say that using a single-wall carbon nanotube treatment has benefited in maintaining our course. We were the first to use it during peak golf season, and people have been very pleased with the results they have seen.
Thanks, Chip. Glad to know the carbon nanotubes are benefiting your golf course.
It's great to see the uses of carbon nanotubes. Dr. G, can you tell us why this treatment is possible for Chip?
Studies dating back to 2010 showed the presence of single-walled carbon nanotubes slowed the growth of algae. With further investigation, it was discovered this happened because the lattice structure of the single-walled carbon nanotubes caused algae to unnaturally clump closely together. This clumping reduces the surface area of algae exposed to the sun, resulting in algae receiving less sunlight for photosynthesis, hindering its growth. Chip is smart for utilizing this technology.
That is really interesting. So are there any situations where carbon nanotubes would be harmful?
There are some downsides of single-walled carbon nanotubes being introduced in our water streams. For one, we are not entirely sure how they affect our health, but as far as algae is concerned, we still need it at proper amounts because algae can be very beneficial in producing biofuel. Also, since algae goes through photosynthesis, it benefits us by consuming harmful CO2 emissions. Single-walled carbon nanotubes have the potential to get rid of all the benefits that we get from algae. With that being said, in my professional opinion, I believe single-walled carbon nanotubes are a great way to improve the aesthetics of water in recreational areas, but not in our drinking water sources.
Well, we appreciate you being here with us today to help us better understand this new technology. As you can see, single-wall carbon nanotubes are helping boost the ease of and maintenance of aesthetics of golf courses and public areas around our nation. It will be interesting to see what the future brings for single-wall carbon nanotubes. I'm Adam Zaytouni.
And I'm Ryan Day. Thank you for being with us this evening.